So what I find interesting with the way they've done this is there was always a way to shift your... Well, I can't say always, because I couldn't get it to work in the other builds, but there was supposed to be a way you could swap your right mouse button ability here and kind of tab between the two. And with this new build, and when you look at this, there's no mention of that. So that might even be a scrapped idea at this point, to let you tab cycle through those in favor of this system. Couple of zombies down there. Let's get a... Can't reach. Get some nice explosion damage on these guys. Come back here. Got him. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? There he is. I'm kind of liking that improved explosion. It makes it feel a bit more useful, just because it hits a lot more monsters without really even having to try, you know. Before, they might have to be packed together a little more tightly for it to feel like it was really hitting that group pretty good, and now there's hardly any issue of feeling it at all now. Goes up nice and big, bunch of enemies take damage. So when I put out my first video here, for this patch, I was asking if anyone had any thoughts about classes they'd want to see, especially for the runes and all that. Someone suggested Witch Doctor, since the Witch Doctor is pretty much the only class that got hit with the nerf stick. Nerf bat, whatever you will. Monk did get a slight nerf, but only to very specific abilities, so quite honestly, the Monk hasn't really changed all that much. Whereas the Witch Doctor, there are a few abilities that really did change. And I kind of like that idea, especially since I liked the Witch Doctor so much on my first playthrough. It was a pleasant surprise. It was kind of the sleeper hit for me. I didn't think I would like him as much as I ended up doing. And they have changed some of his abilities a bit. So I might do that, but I'm still leaving the floor open for feedback. Would like to know what everyone thinks, and if they have particular classes they'd like to see.
To the bone to bring you these fine goods.
And I'm seeing some low sell values here, so I'm not entirely sure how much longer I'm going to be picking up white items. So 1 to 3, I think that's better than the one I decided to keep. Let's look. Yes, indeedy. A real quick salvage, and we're back to the fray. Well, that chandelier was not in a position to help me. But I got bringing down the house. Apparently, it knocked down an environment object and killed a bunch of enemies for me. Okay, I won't complain about that one again. I just opened that up and saw it fall over here and figured it was useless. Boy, was I wrong. All this damage over here that I didn't even know I caused. Hey, look, some lore for your ears.
When we returned from our horrific defeat in Westmarch, my beloved king lost all pretense of sanity. He seethed with rage, spitting curses upon us as traitors. With great sorrow, I ran him through.
Well, at least another ring. Not the best, but I'll take it. There's been some talk that, you know, thorns might actually be a pretty viable thing to, you know, try to stack with some skills, especially if your class has a natural thorns ability, like the Aura of Retribution of the monk. You know, might be a decent build. Kind of hard to say. I honestly look forward to seeing what kind of crazy builds people make. For example, just think of the idea behind a melee demon hunter or a melee wizard. You know, melee wizard is not as far-fetched, I think, because the demon hunter obviously needs bows for many of these abilities, whereas the wizard does not. But it would be interesting to see.
I will forever live in anguish for my last attempt to honor my king. As we lay him to rest in his burial chamber, he manifested as a hideous skeletal demon. Gorash and my other knights were overcome at once, but I fought on.
Yeah, I'm really thinking they did right here by the demon hunter. Things are feeling a little bit better. I say a little bit better, but really a little bit better was all I really needed to make it feel like it wasn't undertuned. I think the classes are, well, of course I had to play the other classes, you know, so we really don't know, but I mean, as of right now, if I compare it to the other classes I played before, everything feels a lot closer now. Of course, the big difference will be seeing how the other classes react to their runes. What will their runes do for them? You know, because that's another part of this is, you know, I could go over these and you could look over each one to see if they act like they used to. Bit beyond what I'm looking into simply because I don't know what all the runes originally were supposed to do. I haven't really looked at calculators beyond skills. I haven't, you know, I really didn't look into the runes too much. Well, I'm sure someone could go through and see if they're all the same, because that's been a lot of speculation right now. Is, you know, do the runes do what they said before? Have they been changed in any way? You know, so we don't know if we get the same, you know, until now. We really didn't know if we got the same runes and if our talent calculators and builds were going to be a little obsolete. Couldn't really say if they would do that, to be honest. It's, I don't know if they would have changed them that much. It looked like they already had an idea in mind what they wanted to make most of the skills do with their runes. Teleporting skeletons. Not a threat. I'm going to equip the extra gold. I would rather have gold than magic find at this level, because gold is important for leveling up my smith. Magic find at this low of a level is practically non-existent. I mean, you have to think about it. It increases your natural ability to find magic find, and right now at these levels it's pretty low. So there we have it, new skill slots. So I have 4 skills already at level 9, making me happy. And we have Strafe, an ability I was never ever able to test. Looking forward to this. This is an archery ability. Did they mention anything about Strafe? Because I don't think they did. Nope, don't see anything. So let's just go back, make sure nothing else says it's new. Nope. Okay. And let's go in. Strafe, for 15 hatred, shoot at random enemies for 120% weapon damage while moving at 65% normal movement speed. Now, since I never really got to go over this in my other beta playthroughs, I'll be looking at this skill as new for me. 120 is not that bad, especially when you consider Evasive Fire is my most powerful generator right now, and it does 125 damage. So it's only 5% less weapon damage. It does slow you down, and it costs. Of course, it says it's a one-time cost. It may be a channeled cost. Kind of, we saw that with Fire Bats with the Witch Doctor, where it says it was a single cost, but then you found out, okay, it really was a channeled ability. So we'll look at that. That looks like it's pretty good for moving when confronted with a group and getting away. So might be better with conjunction with caltrops instead of, say, Evasive Fire, since this is kind of an escape mechanism, as is this, but this would give you that massive jump instead of moving slowly as this one does. I almost want to go back to Hungering Arrow, but since I have Evasive Fire, that's a single target, so we're just going to do that. Sorry, just a little bit of breakdown there. I like to go over my skills and think of how they work together. You know, I tend to think a little carefully about how I want to build things and how I want to play my class. You know, even when I'm trying new things, it's like, well, how does this ability synergize with the other abilities I have? You know, for Strafe, would it be better if I slowed them down and moved backwards, or would it be better, you know, with caltrops, or would it be better if I kept Evasive Fire and used Strafe, and if they got too close, just evasive away? So many, you know, obviously so many options, so many choices. Let's see this. Just kind of want to see it in action here. It's very, yeah, looks like that's going to be a channel. Yeah, very much so. I like it. Kind of have that, turns you into a shadow effect. It's kind of neat. So at this point I have a way of doing damage and getting away quickly. I have some strong single target damage there. Yeah, I'll leave it as is. Come back. I don't think so. What do we have here? Cygnus the Damned, huh? Alright, let's get a couple of those out there. What I'm going to do is move away while firing here. See, it's kind of random, but not too bad. I don't have enough hatred now, unfortunately, for my... But let's just go ahead and vault away here, and... There we go. It's a pretty good escape. They were not walking too quickly, so I could use, you know, Strafe to get away from them. Unfortunately, Strafe being more useful in a group scenario. There were only a couple of them, so as you saw there, Strafe was not entirely useful for that situation, other than to get away and still be firing. But I could have done something better in that situation, such as evasive fire, because you know it's a single shot, does decent damage, and it would have knocked me away. So that would have been the better skill for the situation, but I definitely wanted to see if it was viable, if it would have worked. You know, in case I didn't have evasive fire, you know, if I had caltrips on, for example, which could have worked. Probably putting caltrips down and spamming something else would have been better, though, too.
And now I wander, cursed by my once beloved king. Evil gnaws at my bones, and I cannot risk putting my beloved Tristram in danger should I fail to contain that which tears at me. I must venture down into the labyrinth to die alone.
Alright, looks like we are done in here. Just go ahead and go to the door and we're out. So unfortunately, as you can see, I'm not going to get any devices. That's level 14. One level, just one level higher than what the beta gives me. That's kind of a shame. Especially since the first device you get, I believe, is grenades. And the grenades I really liked in the last time I played Demon Hunter. You know, just spamming those was kind of fun. So losing them in this version of the beta kind of sucks. But, oh well. See, now that's where Strafe really shines, is a group of weaker enemies.
Maintain your incantation.
Ave magistros. Ave registras. Ave...
Your magic is weak.
I am free!
Now, back to my mission.
Who are you?
You will know soon enough. Help me find my gear. I will reward you well. Tell me, what brought you to this infernal place?
I must kill the Skeleton King.
Then our aims align.
Alright. Just do a quick pass through here. Oh, that's right. I was going to say, I thought I made myself some boots, but they were not, they were too high of a level for me. Alright. Come along, Cormac.
Cultists dragged me past this glowing pit. What made it?
I'll soon.
Down this way. There are my weapons. I am Cormac, warrior of the Templar Order. If it is the Skeleton King you seek, then you will have to fight your way past John Dar. There is no reason we should hunt alone.
I often prefer to be alone, but I will make an exception for you.
So it sounds like she is fairly similar to the male counterpart in that. Here I'm using Strafe to blow up barrels. How fun, right? Exciting. Show you real-world applications of how you can use these wonderful new abilities they've given us. Oh, okay, so it's not really a new ability, but still. Starting to get full up. I think let's at least get John Dar before I get out of here. Because John Dar will drop more wonderful loot.
magic bars our way, but the will of a Templar is stronger. You were a Templar, John Dar. How could you succumb to this coven?
The Coven is my brotherhood now. The powers we serve will soon rule this world! Please forgive me. My vision was clouded by the Coven's evil magic.
Betrayal can never be forgiven.
Thank you for your aid. I will go with you on your hunt
My
for
bag
the
is too
Skeleton
heavy.
King. But there is one condition. If we find the sacred tomes of my order, they are mine.
Very well. I have no need of books.
Then onwards we go to fight the Skeleton King. Ah! Let us seek honor together, my friend.
Alright, so I got a belt that gives me +2 experience, finally, so I will be using that on subsequent playthroughs. I'm going to go ahead and equip it now as well. And that's just a white item, I'm not going to worry about that. Alright, let's go ahead and level them up. Now, one thing that has changed a little bit here is that they changed heal and loyalty a little bit.
How are criminals treated in your land?
They've been buffed.
They are given 3
As you can
days
see,
to
heals you for 95 on this one. They didn't give exact numbers, so it's, especially since they changed per level, it's probably going to be hard to get an exact number of how this exactly is buffed. But heal does more. Heal for more here, and loyalty, as you can see here, is 7 per life. Overrode, I believe, was 7 life per second, which I believe was 5 before. So I'll go ahead and have him do intervene, though.
I would have chosen the same.
And what I see interesting here is, again, they've really done a cleanup pass on a lot of this stuff. This, like the chat window thing, has been something that's been around there for ages, I think since the beginning. And now you can see it finally pops up when you have these open instead of closed. The arrow here for looking at your stats is gone. Instead, they've got, of course, a nice details button, so it's a little easier to understand for someone who hasn't played through. So it's quite easy to find the information a lot easier for a newbie, for example. As you can see here, detail screen has been expanded quite a bit. I'm going to open mine as well. They kind of, unfortunately, they do overlap. It'd be nice to see if they could prevent that, but honestly, not a big deal. Honestly, both of them look like they've been cleaned up a lot to look a little more readable. So what I'll do is I'll close that, and as we can see, he has a lot more stats now. They don't think they had all of these stats available in the last patch where you could see all this. So you can see his gold find, his magic find, life leech, and all that. So he has very similar stats to your own now, so for when you give him gear, it's beneficial to him. So I'm going to go ahead and do this.
A good choice.
And do I have a magic shield? I don't. Attack speed. I'd rather have that than the thorns, and I will give him the thorns since he's going to intervene. And he's got a 9 armor shield, so I'm sure I've got better. 51, 50, 53 seems to be the best. So let's grab that 53 and give it right to him. And I'm going to clean up my inventory here so I can grab that crossbow. There we go. Back to town. Oh, they've added a shortcut key to town portal now. That was not existent before. I believe someone asked for that. And it just goes to show you, Blizzard does listen to their fans. You know, you want something, you ask them for it. If they think it's a good idea, they'll probably give it to you. Wait for a second. Yeah, not as good. Okay, just go ahead and sell everything that isn't enchanted. Yeah, I'm starting to see the reduced, see sell value 4, sell value 3. Whereas the items I originally found were 8. You know, the very beginning were sell value of 8 and things like that. So, even these, look at these magical items. 10, 8, 11, 8. It looks like selling items straight up is not really that great for gold anymore. It's 8.8, a little low. Alright, let's salvage these. So not sure how I feel about that. I mean, I really like the selling items. I generally got a lot of gold in Diablo 2 from selling items, and I got a lot of gold in the beta here by selling items. Obviously I can still get some because I'm not like I'm exactly hurting right now, 2,000, but as you can see I can just barely afford to open up new slots in my stash right now. I can actually level up the blacksmith more than I can open up slots, which honestly at this point is probably good. I think honestly that price difference will make people gravitate towards crafting rather than gravitate towards opening up their stash. Because if you're new, you'll probably want to be focusing more on the gear than stash size. Once you start getting the gear is when you want to start getting your stash size up. So probably a good idea there. I noticed I killed Jundar pretty quick, honestly. That felt pretty good. I might take back what I said about being able to die in normal mode. At first it was kind of painful, but now I've got gear and I'm not feeling like I'm taking the hits like I was at first there, so... but hey, you know, this is normal. And again, beta being only a third of the first act, I can't really say anything too bad about that. The other acts are going to be difficult. I'm pretty sure.
Tried to count how many we've killed, but I've lost track.
Of course, the lack of experience gear I'm definitely feeling. I'm getting closer and closer to the Skeleton King, and I am level 9, and I've gone out and explored, gone out of my way to explore quite a bit, and, you know, at this point, I would have at least hit 10.
What foul sorcery is this?
Well, maybe I am ahead of the game, if I think about it. My last playthrough, I think it was around 9 and got 10 right after getting Cormac.
I need more hatred to do that.
I tend to forget I have evasive fire because I'm not used to having a primary generator on my 1 button. I usually prefer my mouse buttons for that. Have rapid fire on 1, at least that's what I did before. Alright, some more rares here.
A mighty adversary is before us.
And they are frozen.
Was a worthy foe. Glorious.
Hey, I got my elite kills 35. Of course, the problem with the achievements before, I believe, was getting the kills through multiple characters. So it'll be interesting to see if that's been fixed. So far, so good, though. I've gotten every achievement I should have.